Okay. Hey, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy 2023. My name is Sapna Aggarwal. I am a neurocoach, a mindset coach here in Austin, Texas. And I'm here with Geremy Chavez. And I wanted to, just us, we're friends. We wanted to get together and talk about money. Money is such an important topic, and, one that we are not talking about as much, and I definitely needed more information on it. And Geremy and I met on a networking event and, in a speaker series. And here we are, friends and very passionate about, speaking up and teaching and educating, especially women, about money. So Geremy, would you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, hi. Thank you, Sapna. And again, my name is Geremy Chavez. I am an accredited financial counselor, currently living in Dallas, Texas with my family. I've got 3 kids, 2 fur babies. One of my kids is off to college right now, and she just sent me pictures of a doggy she adopted. So technically, I guess that makes me a doggy grandma. Yeah, so going back to accredited financial counselor, because I'll take a couple minutes to kind of talk about that just a little bit, my background, because I know many people don't really exactly know what that is. And that is the AFC acronym that you'll see after my name. And really what that is, it's just a credential that identifies me as a professional in the financial world, where I specifically help individuals with their budgeting, their credit and debt, repayment or increasing their credit score strategies, and retirement planning, and pretty much everything in between. So I did, take an additional couple courses after my 4-year degree to be able to take a test, then to be able to do some continuing education units and practicum hours, which is required of the program where I am credentialed through, so that I can help people and, really just listen to their goals and help them to achieve those goals with a different education, training, and strategies.
Yeah, I've always, whenever I've introduced you and I've sent you clients and who I talk to about you, I've said, she's like a financial educator. She's not a financial advisor. She's a financial educator, which is great because you're not tied to certain products or services. You are someone like I would go to school to learn about money. And, you would be the teacher. So that's the simplest way I've explained to especially my business coaching clients, why it's important to have someone who is, in the center. Would you say?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. And I wish I could go around and call myself financial teacher. But the truth is that it's not a common profession. Yeah. And so many people, let's say, for instance, a woman was in her mid-30s and she was wanting to learn more about retirement and accounts and how much can she save, which, by the way, is the topic of today. Today is talking about the 7 changes to retirement accounts in 2023. Those things change regularly. But going back to the example, if someone were to need some kind of financial education knowledge, strategies, they might Google something other than financial teacher. They might Google financial advisor. And yes, you're right. Thank you so much for saying I'm not a financial advisor. I'm actually the opposite, because most financial advisors do sell you investment products and services. Whereas I am really just teaching you. I am teaching you, imparting that knowledge so that you can make your best financial decision with the information you have.
Yeah, I mean, we've been friends for a long time and peers in the coaching field. And I think one of the things I just respect you for, more than anything, is that you have given me options. You have told me about options. And then ultimately, it's up to me and my clients and, for my clients to make their own decisions. And I think having someone who doesn't have a personal agenda with the products and services has made that, it's just excellent advice. So, I appreciate that for sure. So should we jump in and talk about retirement accounts? What do we need to know?
Sure. Just one last thing before we go ahead and go into that.
Yeah.
Because as I was mentioning, I would like to call myself a financial teacher. That's the closest definition, simple definition.
Yeah.
Really, most people wouldn't know how to find somebody like me. So I know right now a trendy kind of word is money coach. And
okay.
Money coach will be suitable for me as well, as long as I keep telling people that I'm also an accredited financial counselor.
Yeah.
Because money coach really can be a term used by somebody who just maybe paid off some student loans one day and feels like they got, really good at knowing what to do, and then wants to impart that knowledge to other people. And so therefore they're calling themselves a money coach. So it could be a very broad term as well. And so that's why I always make sure to just back it up to let people know, no, I'm actually a credentialed financial professional. And that's what the AFC is behind the name. But thank you.
Yeah, I think that's very important. And I think we should definitely do another video on, because it's knowledge is power. And that was one of the things you had taught me was like, there is a difference. And let me explain the differences. And that's definitely a topic we should talk about in our next video. So, what should we talk about retirement wise? What do you want to share with us as we're kind of getting ready for tax time as well?
Right. Well, as we know, we're in January 2023. Maybe you don't know, maybe you're watching this on a pre-recording and it's not January 2023 anymore, but generally at the beginning of the year, this is the time when people start really focusing again on their goals and those kinds of things, looking at those things that you don't typically look at on a day-to-day basis, maybe annually, such as how much you're contributing to your retirement accounts. So there are 7 new changes, as I mentioned earlier, that I want to bring to your attention. And this is going to be very helpful to you, my dear, watching, even if you haven't started up any kind of a retirement account and you're considering it and you want to know more about it, or if you've been actively contributing to your retirement accounts for years, but you still want to know what are the updates, what can I contribute now, what are the changes, right? So either way, this video chat is going to be helpful for you to be more financially savvy.
Awesome. Okay, so where do we start, Geremy?
Okay, so number one change has been the higher contribution limits to your workplace retirement accounts. So if you have a 401k offered at work, maybe you work for a government agency, a state agency, and you have a 457 instead of a 401k, it's pretty much almost exactly the same thing with a few differences. But for the most part, we're talking about those kinds of plans, workplace retirement plans. They can even be a 403b as well if you're working with a nonprofit agency, but you know what your workplace plans are. In 2022, the most that you can contribute was $20,500.
Right. Now
in 2023, it's been adjusted because of inflation, and as we know, that's really happening right now. It's a big deal right now, but the IRS has lifted, and that limit is now $22,500.
Okay.
You get to stack away $2,000 more in your workplace plan per year, and that is if you are under the age of 50 years old. Now, I don't know about you, Sapna, but you might be wondering who can contribute $22,500 into a retirement plan. What kind of demographic, what kind of person, what are they earning, right, to allow them to contribute that much money to a workplace plan.
Right.
And so this is one of the things I like to do, is to kind of point out that to be well-rounded with our finances, individuals, all of us, me, you, Sapna, anybody watching, ideally should be saving or investing a combined total of at least 10% of their income per month.
Okay, that's a good goal to strive for.
That is, so that starts to give you an idea. Okay, all right. So it's the contribution limit is $22,500 per year. So if you want to break that down to a monthly amount, how much would that be? The monthly amount would be, let's see, I did the math for you. It would be $1,875 per month if you wanted to cap out at that annual contribution.
Okay. All right. That's good. And not everybody can. And some people may be able to do 1,000, and some people may start at 800, but wherever you are. But, we just know when it comes to habits, and especially money habits, it's going to be just consistency. Right.
So if you're making at least 6 figures, like we're talking about $100,000 per year, and you wanted to hit this target goal, then you would be contributing about 22.5% of your income towards the retirement plan, which again, some people can do a lot less than 10% per month of their income, and some people can save and invest a lot more than 10%.
Okay,
of their
so
income.
that's 100K gross, or would it be 100K net, right?
It would be, I like to use net, but that would be, I would go with net.
I would go with net, yeah. Especially if we're thinking, the percentage that we want with everything else that we pay for.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that gives you an idea.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay, keep going.
You want to go to step 2?
Yes, please.
Change 2. Change 2 is higher catch-up contributions. And so again, the limits I just shared with you, the first changes were for people under 50. People over 50 get this thing called a catch-up contribution, so they can put away more. And the IRS has bumped that up some a little bit from 2022, $6,500 to now $7,500.
Okay.
And
that's great.
Believe that if they've waited, if they were just a little late to get started to start saving for their retirement, their mid-30s, even into their 40s, which is really stretching it and pushing it for, when you should have started to save for your retirement.
Yes.
Definitely, once you hit 50, you want to take advantage of that extra $1,000 that you can, or excuse me, $7,500 that you can contribute per year.
Right. I mean, you've had a variety of ages that have come to you. So if you have someone who may be in their early 40s, they may have to become pretty aggressive in how they start saving up then, versus somebody who might come to you who's like, 27, 28, a software professional just sort of starting to think about, the magic of compound interest.
Right. And it is magical. It's so magical when you're 18 and have your first job right out of high school as you're trying to get yourself through college, and you start saving for retirement because of the power of compounding. But yes, somebody who's a woman closer to 40 or in her 40s and just now at the very beginning of saving for retirement is definitely way behind the curve, I would say. And I would say, yes, she would need to be aggressive, but also at the same time, I don't want to say, I don't like to do one size fits all type of answer, because she could come to me with, some business assets that would totally cover if, she wasn't planning on having that business when she retired, and she liquidated assets, and she does have an assets, that she could use as retirement income in the future. But if we're talking about somebody, who's not saved for retirement or very little and has very little assets, I would say yes, you would want to be as aggressive as possible.
Right. And that's why you would work with, someone as yourself, because it's never a one size fit all, never. It's just, you kind of throw out some numbers as per the averages you're coming across, right? But individuals are going to come with their own strategies, their own, situations. I mean, when I think about, one of my clients, a business coaching client that has gone through a divorce, but, what she's left with is a significant amount of money. And so for her, she's in really good place. It's just she has to sort of start her own retirement accounts and what have you, since after the divorce, that thing, got separated. Now, I've also had individuals, I worked with one woman who had 4 children who had not started. So, it's just various things. And so we have to kind of think, okay, well, maybe you might want to postpone retiring for, or maybe part-time working. And so that's another thing, is like, what does retirement really mean to you as well? And,
that's right. There's so many variables, and
yeah,
I'm glad you pointed some of those things out, but I would say it's never too late. No matter what.
Yeah,
I don't want to say that you should be aggressive if you've never saved, and for that to discourage you. It's just to say, this is where we stand, and let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's move forward.
Yeah, and the strategy is going to be different as per each case. It's case management, and it's also how comfortable they feel, right, with their ability to sort of invest in their retirement as well. So depending on like their risk ratio and what have you. So, okay, so keep going on your points.
So many variables. Okay, we can't get stuck just on that. We want to make sure for you. So we'll go ahead and go to the third change is higher contribution limits for self-employed people. And so last year it was 61,000. So this year it's going to be 66,000. Okay. A little bit of a jump there for y'all. Okay. Number 4. So there are higher IRA contribution limits in 2023. From last year it was 6,000 to this year it's 6,500. And so the little bit of a higher contribution bump there. But these here are really great for those people. IRA, by the way, stands for Individual Retirement Account. For those people who don't have a workplace account offered. And so these you set up yourself and you can begin contributing. So I think the math would work out a little easier for you if you were deciding to try to max out a plan. The 6,500 divided by 12 months puts you at $542 a month. So a lot less than you would need to if you're going to cap out for your 401k. But that's what we always do. We want to break the number down into like per month, what would that be? Per week, what would that be? So if you're interested in starting up an IRA, contributing to that to the max, and you're under 50, that would be, if we have 52 weeks in a year, which we do, that would put you at $125 per week that you would save. Okay. So.
Okay. And, and this is another video for sure, but like just having a mindset that we would be, that we would need, especially if we're not used to putting this kind of money away, right? There's a commitment level that we need to get to the gym or go for our walks or pick up our weights. And it's that same mindset that you bring to your money. This isn't something to be afraid of. So that's a topic that many of my clients and friends have actually brought up. And so I'd love for us to talk about that next time.
Sure.
So, okay. So what's next after that, Geremy?
Okay, I love what you said though, Sapna, before I move on. Mindset, it's between, can you afford $125 a month to max out your Roth IRA this year? Versus, can you afford it? Versus, can I do it? Can I physically get myself to do that? Even
how can I do it?
So you can do it,
Yes.
mentally, emotionally, mindset, just like you said,
Yeah.
I do it.
Yeah.
I'm not used to doing that. This is a new habit, a new way of thinking.
Yeah.
So that's all the stuff you specialize in, Sapna, but yeah.
Yeah. I think if we ask the right questions, we're going to get the right answers. So, even if we pose it that, how can we make this happen? How can, we become the boss lady that we're wanting to be, just like your pup says. How is it that we can make this a reality? Like, what is it? And it might take a little while, but adjustment is the name of the game. It's like, you just have to know where your North Star is and why you're doing what you're doing. So,
right.
And to me, mindset and money just go really hand in hand together.
That's right. That's why we work very well together.
That's right.
And, our clients, when they're working with both of us, are going to really optimize
Yeah. Because we want them to optimize their lives, and money's just part of it,
Right.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay. So on to number 5 then.
Yes.
All right. So this one, there's no change for IRA catch-up contributions like there was with the workplace retirement plans, the 401ks and such. But I knew some of the ladies were thinking about that, so I included it in here. So it's going to be the same. It's going to be $1,000. If you're over 50 and you have an IRA, it's going to be the same for catch-up as it was last year, $1,000.
Okay.
Okay.
The catch-up can be made till when?
Oh, good question. Sapna, that's really great. So this was actually going to be a little extra credit bonus question I was going to ask inside of the membership portal, which I'll talk about later. But so if you have an IRA, you can contribute by the IRS. They allow you to contribute for 2022 all the way through April 18, 2023.
So before the taxes are due.
Correct. So unlike the workplace retirement plan, that's governed by another IRS law, and those are calendar years.
Fiscal calendars.
To December 31st.
Right.
Then you have to stop contributing to your workplace plan for that year. IRAs are a little different. So just in case you didn't know, now you know, there's still a chance to catch up.
Good to know.
Yep. Okay. So moving on to number 6. Okay. So higher income thresholds for Roth IRA contributions in 23 versus 22. So what does that mean? Just in case you're kind of new and you're going to be starting soon, but you don't necessarily have an IRA set up yet. So a Roth IRA. There's 2 types of IRAs. So we won't get too derailed and stay close to the focus here. But we're going to say that with Roth IRAs, they do have some income thresholds that you have to be below to even be able to contribute to these types of plans versus a traditional IRA. That's the other type. But we're talking about Roth IRA right now. Okay. Why? Just think about it. When something is so good and it can help you with your taxes and everything else, the government's going to limit that. I'm just kidding. But that's the way the silly, cynical way it helps me to think about it. Oh yeah, it's so good that the government's going to limit it. So
right.
It's the Roth IRA. And for singles, they divide them into the different tax filing statuses. So for singles in 2022, your modified adjusted gross income, we'll call that MAGI for short, was you couldn't exceed $144,000 to be able to contribute to Roth IRA. Above that, you can't contribute at all. Below that, there's going to be like brackets that you can contribute up until you're phased out, is what they call.
Right.
So in 2023, it goes from 144 to 153, $153,000.
Okay.
That's
so another 9,000.
And then for married filing jointly, because it doesn't matter if you're married and then you decide to file a different way, but married filing jointly specifically. These families before were able to contribute 214,000. In 2023, 228,000. So below our above $228,000, a married couple filing jointly can no longer contribute to a Roth IRA.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that's very important information. Okay.
Sure. And all that means is, okay, I don't want it to bum you out and think, oh, I can't contribute to IRAs if I make more than $228,000 for married couple filing jointly, or, the 153 for singles. All that is saying is for Roth, the Roth IRA. Remember, there's another kind, the traditional type that you could still contribute to without any income limits like that.
I see. So there's no limits to the traditional?
No income limits with the traditional.
I see.
Right.
Okay. That's good to know.
It's so good. The government is going to limit you.
Yeah.
Just kidding, but that'll help you remember. Okay.
So these are all points, and do you want to sort of wrap that up in as far as retirement goes? How is this helpful for someone who might just be very novice in this topic, and it is kind of lost because it's just a rabbit hole when you go down this topic.
Right. Shall we just mention the last one before we wrap it all up?
Yes, please.
Okay, sorry, because so now I have number 7. Remember, we started out, it was the 7 changes to retirement account. So
yes.
I can't be greedy. I have to give it all up. I'll give you all right. It's higher income limits for claiming the saver credit. So if you are a saver, the government does kind of reward you, or you can look at it a different way, incentivize you to save for your future. And that's what we call, in short, the saver's credit. So for singles in 2022, if they earned $34,000 or less, they could save and then get a credit back. And now in 2023, it will be 36,500. So if you make 36,500 or less and you save for retirement in a regular savings account, then you will get a credit back from the government. For married filing jointly, that is 68,000 was last year. This year will be 73,000. So there's a little incentive there, and you have to ask your tax preparer for the savings credit. You would think the software automatically puts it all in there, but you have to remember, sometimes your tax professional, I hate to say it, they may not prompt you in all the ways that you need to be prompted to get the best optimal financial tax situation for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, like anything, even in our health, we have to take ownership of the information that applies to us. And it's very easy to get the wrong information on the internet, or get it from someone who's not a certified individual, someone who doesn't do this as a full-time, as a business, and has studied it. So it's important to be very mindful of where you're getting the information. And yeah, I think that's a great thing. I actually didn't know about the savers fund. That's great. Thank you for letting me know.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So if we wrap that up, as far as retirement goes, how does this help somebody, because there may be terms here that, individuals may not be familiar with, how do they kind of get familiar? What other resources do you have?
Okay, great. Thanks for asking. So I get it. There was a lot of information in there. And of course, if you're newer, you're going to probably still have a lot of questions, but when you're newer, to saving for retirement. But if you want to have these 7 updates or changes to have handy to refer to, I will put in Sapna, and I will put in the description.
Mhm.
The link where you can go directly to my membership website where you can access free resources.
Mhm.
And this is one of them. So you can download the worksheet and it will tell you exactly the 7, so you can have there to refer to and do further research. And of course, I always invite people if they want to have a chat. I do discovery calls, which are complimentary talks about whatever it is that you're interested in learning more about. And so to wrap it up, retirement planning is not just for people in their 30s or 40s and beyond. Retirement, saving, investing, planning is for everyone, starting with their very first job. My 16-year-old has a 401k with Starbucks, and she's contributing to it because she knows that with the power of compounding, she will have to put away way less money than somebody who has delayed even 5 or 10 years and maybe started in their mid-20s, 30s.
Right.
And so it just makes it so much easier because of that power of compounding. And so of some of these terms, compounding, those, any of the terms that we talked about today are unfamiliar to you. It's time for you to, take ownership, like Sapna was saying, and go ahead and get the information, read up on it, because you will make your life a whole lot easier.
Yeah. And, it's like pay now or pay later kind of thing. So a little bit of action taking now will help you, because if you think about no matter where you are, the sooner you can start getting the information. And I understand that money can be, it's a topic if you're not familiar with it, if you haven't studied it, it can be overwhelming. And so what I recommend is just, joining a community of people that are just sort of starting themselves. They might be at different learning levels, but the nice thing is that, we're learning together. So I encourage that and not be intimidated by money. It's a tool.
That's right. And if I can say one last word, Sapna, I know that we need to wrap it up, is that you are a specialist in something in your life, right? Whether you are a stay-at-home mom to a C-suite executive, professional woman, you are the expert in your lane, in your topic, in your profession. So don't feel guilty about not knowing about this money stuff. We weren't taught this stuff in high school, right? And so it's okay to reach out for help. It's okay to not know. It's okay to admit you don't know, and then ask the questions and get the help. Delve into the free resources. If you have to, go a little deeper to get better results, and you want to, work with Sapna or myself or both of us, then we empower you to do what you need to do to get there, because there's no shame in not knowing. All I know really is financials. That's my lane. When I need something with mindset, if I have a health concern, I go to those professionals, right?
Right.
You do right? There's no shame in it. It's just go ahead and get started sooner than later. Today, I leave you with this question.
Yeah.
Do you know how to increase your contributions to these plans at work? If you have your plans, I'll leave you with that question.
Good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, good question. And, as you are watching this, as the viewers that might be, if different questions come up, you can comment below. And what we can do is take some of those questions and make future videos. I mean, we're here to serve you all. So if there is, if this video is helpful, share it with a loved one, a friend, or your network. And if you have further questions, put it down in the comments. We'll be checking the comments and making sure that, hey, if there's any, Geremy or I will be, responding. But also, it also gives us a direction to what other things are you interested in? What other questions that come up that may be overwhelming or confusing that we can address in future videos, because this is something we want to do this year just as a way to serve our community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, thank you so much, Geremy. Really appreciate it. Chock full of all the tips, and there's so many things that I did not know that had changed in 2023. And we'll just keep learning from you, and we'll keep talking about the money mindset, and we'll just be back. We'll be back in a couple of weeks, and we'll be doing this regularly. So if we can help you in any way, and just be sure to let us know. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks, Geremy.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.